Hello, everybody, and welcome to Youth Connect Friday, May the 14th. I'm Aiden.
Kevin.
I'm Joshua.
I'm Nibras.
And I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. It is so nice to see you guys. I hope you're having a lovely evening, or technically a lovely afternoon. We got some interesting news for today, but as per usual, we always start with our video game news. To start us off, we always need to do our video game of the week, a game that I spotlight that I think that you guys should try out. And today's game is quite different to all the rest. It's not an adventure, it's not an RPG, it's more relating to real life. And today's game of the week is called Before I Forget. So let me tell you, a woman alone in the house, a mystery and a love story. Explore the present to uncover the past in a short story of love and loss and a life well lived. A narrative exploration that examines a world where memories are constantly fading and jumbled. This is a game about dementia and what happens when you can't hold on to the things you've done or the people you've loved. It's created by a team who wanted to bring awareness to dementia. Did you know that every time someone buys this game, Before I Forget, the money goes to support the Alzheimer's research in the UK? How amazing is that? And honestly, a game about amnesia or dementia is quite, it is quite crazy because honestly, games are always like, oh, swords and adventure and magic spells. But it's a bit more down to earth. It's a bit more realistic. And honestly, sometimes even I don't know because I don't have dementia. How does it feel to have dementia? It's important that we gain awareness. It's always important to have awareness on things. So I recommend that you guys check this game out. I know it sounds sad, but honestly, sometimes things are sad and sometimes we got to go through that. So I actually might check this game out as well. I would want to support Alzheimer's research. But other than that, guys, I hope you like and I hope you check out Before I Forget. And don't forget about it. So make sure to check it out before you forget. Anyways, next up we got Kevin, and Kevin has with us our local Ontario Canadian news and weather.
Okay, just take a second.
Don't worry, Kevin.
Oh no.
It's broadcast and
Okay, never mind. I got this. Oh, it's working. Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Youth Connect. The time is now 3:30. I'm your host Kevin Ruja, and now the headlines. And apologize for this broadcasting technique. Ontario reports 2,362 new COVID-19 cases, 26 more deaths. Federal government extends province-wide stay-at-home order until June 2nd. Trudeau cleared in wheat charity scandal for former finance minister broke conflict law, says ethics watchdog. Greyhound Canada to permanently cut all routes and nearly a century of operations. The Big Three Hall of Fame night awaits Duncan, Garnett, and Bryant. Ontario reports more than 2,300 new COVID-19 cases on Friday and 26 additional deaths, as the 7-day rolling average of infections continues to drop. Provincial health officials logged 2,362 new coronavirus infections today, down from 2,759 on Thursday. The drop in testing contributed to a rise in the province positivity rate to 6.1% compared to 5.7%. However, on Thursday, according to the Ministry of Health, the positivity rate, however, is down from a week ago and it was 7%. However, the number of patients in intensive care continued to remain relatively unchanged over the past few days. A total of 777 people in the ICUs, up by a one from a day ago, and 560 of these patients were breathing in the assistance of a ventilator. Premier Doug Ford said his government is extending the province-wide stay-at-home order until June 2nd, in an effort to protect this summer for all Ontarians. Ford confirmed the two-week extension at a news conference at Queen's Park on Thursday afternoon, despite calls to reopen outdoor amenities to encourage safe outdoors. Despite calls to reopen outdoor amenities to encourage safe outdoor activities during the lockdown. It appears the Ford government intends to keep those closed until at least next month. The province said it will consider reopening outdoor amenities, including tennis and basketball courts, and outdoor sports fields on June 2nd. Officials said they need to see a big drop in the number of new cases and hospitalizations in order to lift restrictions. The province chief medical officer of health, Dr. David Williams, said Toronto would need to see daily COVID-19 case counts well below 1,000 before the stay-at-home order could be lifted. The Federal Ethics Commissioner has cleared Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of wrongdoing in the last summer's We Charity scandal. Ethics Commissioner Mario Dion also concluded Trudeau's finance minister at the time. Bill Marnew did breach the Conflict of Interest Act wherein he failed to rescue himself from cabinet deliberations on the summer student grants contract. In this investigation report, Dion stated that Trudeau, who apologized for not recusing himself from cabinet talks on a now cancelled program, didn't have a close relationship with the Kielburger brothers. While Marnew, who faced similar allegations, placed himself in a conflict of interest on several occasions. The Conservatives were swift to denounce the Commissioner's report titled Trudeau Third, since it's the third ethnic Commissioner's probe into the Prime Minister. The Liberal government decisions to give We Charity a $43 million contract to run a $900 million student John Grant program quickly blew up in a major scandal last summer, following reports that Trudeau and Mornew's family had ties with the organization. Greyhound Canada is permanently cutting. Sorry, Greyhound Canada is permanently cutting all bus routes across the country, shutting down the intercity bus carriers operation in Canada after nearly a century of service. The motor coach company said its remaining routes in Ontario and Quebec will cease permanently on Thursday. Its routes in Ontario and its American affiliate Greyhound Lines Incorporated will continue to operate cross-border routes to Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver once the border reopens. The decision comes a year after the Greyhound Canada temporarily suspend all service due to a sharp decline in passengers and mounting travel restrictions amid the first wave of COVID-19. The bus carriers has struggled for years with declining ridership, increased competition, and deregulation. The company said tickets for travel after Thursday will be refunded. Customers with a valid travel voucher can also request a refund. In sports, the full names weren't necessary. The first time or even the initials were enough. Such was the star power that Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett carried throughout their careers and still possesses. All of them now 5 years removed from their final game as NBA greats. Each was an NBA champion, an MVP, and an Olympic gold medalist, annual locks for all stars and all defensive teams. And now the ultimate honor comes their way. On Saturday nights in Newcastle, Connecticut, they all officially become member of the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. The combined numbers for the trio are impressive. 11 championships, with Bryant and Duncan getting 5 apiece. 48 All-Stars nods, more than 86,000 career points, and roughly $900 million in NBA salaries. A figure that doesn't take into account their off-count earnings. Bryant is a number 4 scorer in NBA history. At Duncan 15th, Garnett 18th. The electors didn't want any preserving anomalies from those groups overlooked. In today's weather forecast, we finally got some sun. The temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. On Saturday morning, we are sunny again. The temperature will be 10 degrees centigrade. And guess what? The whole of next week's we're getting double digits too. Time for some gardening and exercise. That's all the report on weather. Have a great weekend, folks. Now, back to Aiden's gaming news.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for 2 weeks of double-digit weather. Oh my gosh, gonna sit outside. And honestly, gardening sounds like a great idea. I would also recommend doing a barbecue. But enough about nice weather. We gotta go back to our gaming news. So let me tell you a little story. So everyone in Toronto has a raccoon story. You have a raccoon story. I have a raccoon story. My dad has a raccoon story. You know, those little night terrors that stuck away in the dark, you know, knocking over trash bins when all they want is some food. Let me tell you that Jason Lever, a video game storyteller, is making a video game based exactly on this idea. Now, Lever, who is 43, a storyteller based in Scarborough, is making a game called Trash Panda as a filmmaker. He says he is not one to shy away from innovation. At the start of the pandemic last year, when the world shut down, Lever pivoted to creating interactive stories from the comfort of his own home. Trash Panda is actually one of those interactive stories and was aimed at being a comforting distraction for people during the pandemic, said Lever, noting the objective of the game is to make as big of a mess as you can as the raccoon. Honestly, I would love to play a game like this. Now, he says that it is going to be a fluffy thing that people are going to laugh at. I just want you to forget what's going on and just be in the game and just let yourself be that raccoon, you know? Honestly, I would have to agree with them. In the current beta version of the game, there's a street lined with garbage bins that is modeled after Lever's own Scarborough neighborhood. The protagonist of this interactive story, the raccoon, can bump into and knock over the bins and eat bin scraps as it pleases. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of a game. What's it called? The Untitled Goose game. Now we have gooses, raccoons. What's going to be next? Are we going to have killer worms attacking the earth with their laser eyes? Who knows? Literally, we have evolved from 2D to 3D to raccoon games. Honestly, I can't wait to see what's in store for the video game era. Anyways, next up we got Joshua, and Joshua has for us some world news and, of course, our very favorite cute animal news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Youth Connect. Here's what's happening around the world. Yankees players show COVID-19 can spread among vaccinated people. 8 members of the Yankees organization have tested positive for COVID-19 after being vaccinated. Relaxed restrictions and the spread of variants may have increased the risk of an outbreak. The Yankees provided an important lesson in epidemiology this week, even if we've been fully vaccinated. It's possible to get the coronavirus as of Thursday. 3 of the team's coaches, 4 members of its support staff, and 1 player have tested positive for COVID-19. And though they vaccinated several weeks ago, the Yankees players and coaches received Johnson & Johnson single shot. Manager Aaron Boone told ESPN in clinical trials that shot was found to cut the risk of coronavirus infection by 66% globally and by 72% among us U.S. trial participants. That means a small minority of vaccinated people may still develop infections, though these are usually mild or asymptomatic. The Yankees relaxed safety protocols in late April after at least 85% of the traveling team had been vaccinated. That when players and coaches take off their masks and in the clubhouse and dugouts per the Major League Baseball regulations. The goal of vaccines isn't to eliminate all infections, it is to prevent people from becoming severely ill. In that sense, mild breakthrough infections can be seen as evidence that the vaccines are doing their job. U.S. pipeline giant shuts down major fuel line following cyber attack. The main fuel supply line to the U.S. East Coast has shut down temporarily after the pipeline operator suffered what is to believed to be the largest successful cyber attack on oil infrastructure in the country's history. The attacker on the Colonial Pipeline, which runs 5,500 miles and provided nearly half the gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel used on East Coast, most immediately affected some of the company's business side computer systems. The Georgia-based company said it shut down the pipeline as a precaution, has engaged a third-party cybersecurity firm to investigate the incident, which is confirmed was ransomware attack. Ransomware is a type of malware that locks up victims' files, which the attackers promise to unlock for a payment. Colonial Pipeline Company reportedly paid nearly $5 million to Eastern European hackers on Friday, contradicting reports earlier this week. The company had no intention of paying an extortion fee. The company reportedly paid the hefty ransom in untraceable cryptocurrency within hours after the attack. The attackers, which the FBI said are linked to a group called DarkSide, specializes in digital extortion and are believed to be located in Russia or Eastern Europe. Russia picks cast for movie to be shot in space. Russia has picked 4 people to serve as non-professional crew members, actors in what is planned to be the first movie to be shot in outer space. Russia's Roscosmos Space Agency said on Thursday some of them are scheduled to be launched on Soyuz MS-19 craft on October 5th to be delivered to the International Space Station, which orbit an Earth at an altitude of around 354 kilometers, according to Roscosmos and NASA. The film has the working title of Challenge, and the four will be willing training for space flight by the end of this month, the agency said. Turning to animal interest news. Heavy hearts at Toronto Zoo on Monday. One of the week-old amateur tiger baby cubs were reported on last week has died on Sunday. It weighed only 794 grams and was in a coma and was severely hypothermic and dehydrated. The zoo's veterinary team began caring for the cub around the clock, but blood tests confirmed severe liver and damage and life-threatening electrolyte imbalances. They even gave him a stuffed toy with the heartbeat to comfort him similar to a mother tiger. But his condition got worse on Sunday, and the team made a difficult decision to humanely euthanize him. Turning to happier animal news, a Toronto couple is live streaming the family of foxes living in their backyard. It was 2 weeks ago now when paramedics Jason Tremblay and Caitlin Darlington made the surprising discovery in the backyard of their Etobicoke home. A red fox father, a black fox mother, and their 7 brand new pups have moved in. The couple immediately contacted Toronto Wildlife Center and 311 to see if there was anything they should do about the new tenants. They said they're not problematic, just let them continue doing what they're doing. So they just said they just been hanging out, Tremblay says. So the fox family's been living under their shed ever since. The fox hunt every day, bringing back plenty of birds, squirrels, and rats, and don't cause much trouble other than barking in the mornings. For the most part, they make sure stay out of their way and only give them water. After having a few neighborhood kids, and over to watch the fox from a distance in the backyard, and plenty of inquiries on his social media, Trimley started a live stream of the playful pups so that anyone can tune in to see them in action. This is Joshua Show reporting for Youth Connect. That's it for me. I'll send it back to you, Aiden.
Now, I gotta say, that Russian movie sounds actually pretty interesting. I've been hearing that the latest space movies have actually been recorded in space, but you know what? It's nice to see that an actual movie is going to be made in space. I wonder how the camera's going to stay in place. Probably a bit of tape, but what happens if the camera's like, whoa? And also, honestly, those little live streaming foxes, I might need to tune in because it looks pretty cute. Anyways, for our last thing, we got a board game of the week, and obviously it's a board game that I recommend that you guys check out, just like our video game of the week. And today's game, we got Monopoly, but not just any Monopoly. We got Monopoly for Millennials. So Monopoly sets on about every theme that has been known to man. There's Mario Kart Monopoly, there's Back to the Future Monopoly, there's Isle of Wight Monopoly, Horses and Ponies Monopoly, Wolverhampton Monopoly. But really, this new version of Monopoly really takes the cake. Apparently, money doesn't always buy a great time, but experiences, whether they're good or weird, last forever. The Monopoly for Millennials game celebrates just that. Instead of collecting as much cash as possible, players are challenged to rack up the most experiences to win. Traveling around the game board, discovering and visiting cool places to eat, shop, and relax. And even interact with other players via chance and community chest cards, which are super relatable. And players don't pay rent. No way. They visit one another, earning more experience points. This board game is a great way to bring a fun and relaxed vibe to a party or casual get-together. Honestly, this rendition of Monopoly is quite nice because I'm not really into the money concept in buying condos that the original Monopoly, holds. But this one seems to be easier for me to understand, and I hope that you like it as well. And honestly, check it out. It's on Walmart, it's on Amazon, and honestly, it's a pretty cool board game. It's like a easier rendition of Monopoly. Anyways, next up is Nibras, and Nibras has with us entertainment and movie news.
Hayden, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. How are you guys today? My name is Nibras Khan, and I'm your host for the entertainment news. Let's get straight into our top story. And our top story is about the animated show The Dragon Prince. The Dragon Prince is a Canadian-American fantasy computer animated streaming television series created for Netflix by Aaron A. Haz and Justin Richmond. Produced by Wonderstorm and animated by Bardell Entertainment, the series follows the story of the Prince half-brothers Callum Ezram and the elf Rayla, who, as they take care of the infant dragon prince Adamandius, must end the 1,000-year-old war conflict between the human kingdoms and the magical creatures of the land of Exadia. The first season premiered on September 14, 2018. Two more seasons have since been released. The series has been renewed for 4 additional seasons, each with 9 episodes. A video game set in the world... a video game set in the same world as the series is in development. The series set in a fantasy world on the continent of Exadia, which is rich in magic derived from 4 primal elements: the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, the sky, and the ocean. Centuries ago, The dragons, elves, and humans of Exedi lived in peace. However, the humans, being unable to utilize magic naturally, began to use dark magic, which is fueled by the essence of magical creatures. As a consequences, they were driven into the west, and the continent was split into two by a massive river of lava. A thousand years later, the human king, Harold of Carolus, and his advisor, the Dark Mage Viren, have killed the Dragon King and supposedly destroys his egg. In retaliation, elf assassins attempt to Kill Hero and his son, Ezrin, his half-brother, Callum. And I highly recommend you guys watching this animated show. I love this animated show. So my next story is a Halter News, and it's about police officers on the run. Close to 50 members of the Halton Regional Police Service are participating in the virtual 2021 Law Enforcement Torch Run in support of Special Olympics Ontario. Members are individually running, walking, cycling 34 kilometers between May 3rd and June 5th, 34 days, symbolizing 34 years of the event, which raises funds and awareness for the Ontario Special Olympics. The goal for this year's event is 34,000. Over the years, they have constantly had 40 to 50 members participate in the actual run, said Detective Constable Alison Thorold, HRPS Torch Run coordinator for the past 3 years. In addition, the other resources are allocated to ensure the safety and security of our participant, as well as the locals, to ensure the day runs smoothly. We also have support from EMS and local fire services. In 2019, 500 people attended the HRPS Torch Run event, including athletes, parents, teachers, and caregivers. She said this makes the second virtual torch run due to COVID-19 restrictions. So my final story is very short because the thing is, if I tell you a lot about this, you guys will get the storyline, right? It has a lot. If I tell you a paragraph about this, you get the spoiler. So I don't want to be. I want it to be spoiler free. So this is a short story. So the story is about the movie Oxygen. Oxygen is a science fiction thriller film directed and produced by Alexandra Aja. A young woman wakes up in a medical cryo unit. She doesn't remember who she is, how she ended up hidden in a box no larger than a coffin. As she's running out of oxygen, she must rebuild her memory to find a way out of the nightmare. This movie is available on Netflix, and I love this movie. Please watch this movie. And so that's all for me. This is Nibras Khan from Youth Connect. I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much. Back to Aiden.
Man, I gotta say that you know what, the last news report that you gave us, thank you so much for it, kind of sounds like our game that we discussed before, but this time it's based on sci-fi. And you know what, it's pretty cool. It would be interesting to be like, where am I? Who am I? Why am I on this strange ship? So I recommend checking this out. It's pretty cool. Anyways, guys, now we could just end right now, but guess what? We're missing one person, and this person wants to really bring everyone together to connect and to really just make your heart explode with lots of emotions and happiness and positive emotions, because you know who that is and who wants to share that message. We got our live musician, Jeffrey, and he's going to bring us some live music. You ready, Jeffrey? Oh, Jeffrey, you're muted. You're muted. First, unmute yourself.
on you. I'll be with you, my love. I'll be with you when the sea is blue. I'll stay with you, love. I'll stay with you when the seas are full, stars are falling. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going, in the sunshine of your light. I'm with you, my love. The light shining through on you. I'll soon be with you, my love. Oh, give me a darling, we're just a sweet two. I'll stay with you. I'll stay with you, my love. I'll stay with you when the seas are dawn. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going, in the sunshine of your light. I'm with you, my love. The light shining through on you. I'll stay with my darling. You when the sea's blue. My love. I'll give you my love and all. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going, in the sunshine of your life. Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful, Jeffrey. That was awesome. Oh my gosh, it's so good to just end Youth Connect with that singing. It is amazing, and really it brings a smile on my face, and it really makes my heart feel all happy and feels like I'm ready for it gets me in the mood for next week. Oh my gosh. Anyways, guys, this is the end of our Youth Connect Friday, May 14th edition. Pretty good. And honestly, there was a lot of good news, a lot of interesting topics. And honestly, guys, again, very nice weather. So make sure that you go outside today. You know what? Do some yoga, do some barbecuing, go out for a walk. Just enjoy the weather. And honestly, thank you. I have to always thank my co-hosts. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Nibras. Thank you, Jeffrey. And thank you, Joshua. And thank you, viewers, for joining. If you guys want to, if you want to share it with people, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to share with your friends, because you know what? It's important that we get a bigger community and we can connect together. So make sure that you share, like, comment, and subscribe. But for now, I will see you next week, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Kevin. Bye, Kevin.